All right, so I sprouted these two chayotes. This one is pretty healthy looking. This guy, I guess, wasn't the best to begin with, but the sprout looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and pot them today. All right. So I got 2 pots. I got a shovel. I got my dirt, and I got my chayote. I would get potting soil from the store, and the reason why is because potting soil has the nutrients for the plants for about a good month. It's got feed and food for the plants. So it's a good idea to get a little bit high grade potting soil. Although today I did not get the high grade potting soil. I just got the cheap HEB soil. So we're gonna get started. What you wanna do is the size of your seed, you want there to be enough girth in the pot for the seed and also enough depth for the roots. So you're going to be putting the root about a little above midway so that it's covered, but then you have lots of room for the space for the roots to grow. And that's important because without the space for the roots to grow, it's gonna start stunting the growth. And in some cases you would like that because, for example, it's a trick if you want plants to flower, you want to give it as little root space as possible so that it thinks, okay, this is it, I'm gonna start fruiting. And but this, we want it to have nice healthy vines, and so we're gonna give it a nice deep pot for it to grow, and eventually once it grows out of that and it gets root bound, we're gonna either put it in the ground or transfer to a larger pot, whatever your environment dictates. All right, so here we go. Initially, we're gonna fill this about halfway. So I'm just going to scoop the dirt in here, and that's why I cut it with a knife. And got about halfway through, halfway filled. I'm gonna do the same thing with my other one. I'm gonna fill it about halfway. And then I'm gonna make a little divot in there and put it in there. What I wanna do is make sure that the dirt is compact so that there isn't a lot of fluff. If there's a lot of fluff, once you water it, the whole thing will just decompress and you'll just need to add more dirt, and then that'll kind of ruin the height of it. So I'm gonna pull the camera in close so that you guys can see as I'm working on this. All right, so we got the 2 pots here. This is filled about halfway, and I'm still going to make a little hole, a little crater, and at the same time pushing the dirt down. Then I'm going to orientate it so that the sprout is facing up. Same thing with this guy. Okay. And I want to kind of situate so that the sprout is going to be in the middle somewhat. So I'm going to dig this guy a little bit deeper. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to fill it the rest of the way with the dirt. You want to work gently, avoiding hurting the sprout. It's fairly delicate. So because these sprouts have been sprouted indoors, it's not used to the direct hot sun and all the elements of the exterior environment. So after we pot it and water it, we want to just put it in a location that is going to get indirect sun for the time being. And then we will slowly move it out toward the outdoor area where it could get rained on and everything. But for now, we want to acclimate it to the environment. So I'm patting it down gently. I'm not pushing near the sprout in case I bend it or break it. So I'm just pushing down at the edges. And then after this, we just water it. You want a deep water, which means you want it soaking all the way through the dirt. So you see how the water is going down and seeping through. Go ahead and add some more. And the pots I use have drainage holes. And that's important because you don't want it to get, to drown, to get overwater, because that's one way to kill your plant is by overwatering. Okay, so we're done. We got the plants potted, they're watered, thoroughly soaked. We're gonna put it in an area where it's not gonna get the extreme elements. And then we're gonna check on it every day. All right, this is the next day after it got potted. The chayote had some deep watering from the rain last night. It's looking pretty good, survived. You can see the soil has been pretty compacted. And when it's like this, you don't need to continue watering it. I want to show you a close-up of the sprouts. You could see the little baby leaves coming out. It's going to open. It's very strong. Nice thick stem. Here's the other guy. Doing well. All right, these guys are looking really good. We had some rain. I want to show you what the rain did to the plants, and yet they still survived. You can see the white roots showing here. We're going to cover that back up. Here you see a little bit of the actual chayote. So you can see the growth rate of these guys, how fast they've been growing and how strong they are. It's an indicator that they like their environment, they like the soil. So if you see that they're somehow stunting, or they're getting shy, or the color is changing, those are all indicators that something about the environment, either it's too much of the elements, or too much water, too little water. So these guys look pretty healthy and happy. And again, if you got like nice white roots like this, it's an indicator that it's doing well. So this is the smaller guy that has the rotting on the actual chayote. Hopefully that won't affect him. And this baby's looking really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add some more soil to the top. And you might need to do this anyways if you water it and the soil compacts. If the roots or any portion of the chayote shows, just make sure you just add a little bit more soil. Again, be careful not to break the stem of the sprout because it's still very fragile. Cover up this guy as well. Okay, so we'll come back and visit them in a little bit, but so far so good.